we should be live. And yeah, we are. How you doing, everyone? What is going on? Starting the stream before 6:30 today. Always a good thing. Feeling a bit more rejuvenated as well. Especially with big box behind me. We're opening that on stream. It's a world's capsule. Actually gonna do something nice. Turn it down a little bit. There we go. So you get to see this bad boy and my monitors, where you can actually see the game we're breaking down today. So obviously we've got DFM and CFO as our matchup. And yeah, I'm gonna be popping open this guy on stream, because I've yet to see anyone actually open it. But I'm, to be honest, very surprised it came this quick. Usually, I'd expect it to come later. But considering the fact that you're supposed to get the world's tickets for the event, kind of understandable why it's come now. But that's metallic. This is actually a full capsule. We've got Worlds Unlocked with Renekton on the side. Back is actually empty. Base has all the mumbo jumbo about things. And on this side, we've got the World's Trophy. Nice ordeal overall for it. Now, the box does feel weird. Like there is a cover on it. Like the sides should realistically come off. I think they do. So we turn it on its head. I'm just trying to see, do they come off or don't they? How do we open it is the best question. Because I don't want to damage the box. And I do see it coming off the top, like, ta-da. Is it stuck down? No, it's not. Oh boy, there's artwork on the inside. Okay, I'm actually going to have to put this on my lap. There we go. Instead of balance it on the edge of my chair. So, on the inside, you've got the World's Trophy. This there. You've got it saying Worlds Unlocked. There. The same Renekton thing in the inside. In fact, it's a full Renekton piece on the inside. There. Kind of cool. This, though, is what we're here for. The Worlds Collide box itself. And it opens like so. Now, if there is my special codes in here, sorely going to be upset if I show them. But it looks like... Okay, this is cool. In the middle, we've got the Renekton, the pop-up figurine in that middle bit. Just sits in here and kind of fills the box. It actually is very three-dimensional in a 2D aspect. I like that. We'll tackle this side first, the one that says The Grind. Let's see what there is. Actually, no. Actually, I'll say... Yeah, I'll go for that one. Sorry. The glory is just kind of opening on its own over here, which is a worrisome thing. But the grind... Let's start with it. I wasn't expecting to be doing this today. but we'll take that off. There's a little box down here that has a world envelope in. I like the design. This is something that you'd probably see on the broadcast. Okay. So it says Worlds 2023, kind of like what you would see on broadcast when they're asking questions. So tell me, what did you think about playing Renekton in this game? Was it a good pick overall? Do you think it fit in meta? That's the sort of thing it does. But this literally is a... Okay, there's nothing bad in it, but basically it's just a thank you. If you want to read it. I know my camera quality isn't picking it up too well and my hand's shaking all over the place because I'm stretching, but basically it says thank you for getting this. Now, it's not the only thing in this container. We have actually got our Worlds 2023 badge. Nice little thing to signify the occasion. I like that. And it's also in a convenient storage. We'll put this back in the drawer. Nothing else in there. The big thing that is in here is the World's Tibbers. I like the jacket that it's got with the baseball cap on it. Kind of nice overall. Just a cuddly bear. Also has on the back the World's logo. I'm not taking it out of the bag because why would I? It's a literal collector's item. We'll save it in the side. But yeah, you can go back into that bit. That's that side done. Let's just put this back in here. And slide you like so. Honestly, so if you don't know me, I'm a big collector of League stuff. This, I wasn't expecting, as I've been saying. I wasn't expecting it for another week or two. I thought, obviously, actually no, I thought it might come out after Worlds. You know, you get all the World's collectibles after it. But you obviously would get the rewards of the in-game loot prior. But that's expectations versus reality thing, isn't it? There we go. That's back into the container. Grind is done with. Let's get to the glory. Didn't really show you the sides, but it does say glory on it, and the grind is falling out. I like how the glory is smaller than the grind, kind of saying that you're not rewarded for the effort you put in. Just a tiny thing from a marketeering perspective. But this is sort of the stuff that I like in here. We have our Worlds 2023 baseball hat. You know me. I wore these for a long period of time when my hair was exceptionally long. And I like wearing them. This one feels a lot better than the MSI one. Like, proper quality with this guy. But still a hat. It's going back into here for now. I'll probably will wear it eventually. Like, maybe through the rest of the world. Who knows? Probably will wear it for the finals when we do inevitable content for it. don't like how easy it is for this to fall out in here. Makes me a little bit sad. There. That should be fine. Anyway, what else is in here? Pull the magic ribbon to release the big thing in this set. Championship Teemo figurine. We could honestly pop it open, but I'm, as you know, collector of all things League. I'd rather keep it in the box. Glory. Hands in Factory. Weird that it says that on the side. Oh well. Put this back into the box. Honestly, I like the capsule. You got a lot of decent things. And considering they're limited edition comparative to everything else, I think it's the most worthwhile thing, yeah. I mean, to be fair, it is 4 things plus the in-game loot that you get from it. I think the biggest reason for getting this capsule is the chance at the limited edition Riven skin. The one that hasn't been in the game for a long time. Now, spoiler alert, I actually used to own that skin. I got it on release. And back in League, the old League days, you could refund your skins that you purchased for RP. This wise guy didn't play Riven too much, and I'm talking about me here. I refunded that skin, and I had the border as well, the special icon champion border that you got on the load-in. Yeah, I've got the icon still to represent that I was around during that time, but me being dumb got rid of that skin, and I hate myself for it. And yeah, that tells you how long I've been playing League. But I mean, a good way to say how long I've been playing League is I have the Season 1 Kale skins. Silver Kale, I believe, is its name. I have that. You know, that's a good indicator of how long I've played the game. When I was a young kid is the truest of answers. But yeah, I like this capsule. It's probably gonna make its way into a display area, because if you don't know, you don't tend to see this back of the room too much, because I'm technically remodeling here still. Like, my room is nowhere near done. But yeah, I've got a lot of League things here. We've got the Gardevoir box we opened, got Gardevoir plush. There is Gallade routes on the end, but the rest of it is just League of Legends figures. Like Darius, you've got the Seraphine there, another Seraphine, Akali. All of them are on there. Zed, Thresh, Darius and Jinx are there. I've got quite a lot of figurines for League that just sit on my mantle. But this guy can go here. And down there is a load of Pokemon plushies in my not real, well, it's a converted fireplace that, again, with where I sit, you can't see. Regardless, that is that section done with. I hope you actually found it interesting to see what I've got. Now it's going to be interesting to do some actual League content. Especially now as we go into draft. Also, you can tell how things are. I've gone out of dark mode for today, purely for showing that box off. But hey, it is what it is. Let's get into our opening for today. I'm also going to put that there. You can tell I have chat open just in case. But hey, let's go. Game 1 for today of 5. CFO DFM. LJL versus VCS, I believe, or PCS, 1 and 2. I don't know which region, I'm going to be brutally honest, but I thought of the matches that we're going to see this weekend, or this week, technically, this would be the closest. I think the two regions are quite evenly matched. CFO seemed very good during their run at the last tournament they were at, and DFM, I think, fairly decent as a roster, and they've got a sub-top Apperman. Okay, I'm gonna just jump in here, because when I did my GOL look-through, obviously that does not compare to having the knowledge of the region as to what's going on. But Udapon was subbed into top lane for the entirety of playoffs and for summer. So they've brought in a sub-top laner for this tournament, and Udapon's gone back to his roots as a bot laner. Kind of surprising, to say the least, because if you listen to my predictions, I mentioned this and talked about it, how it would affect the matchup. So, coming in here, as the drafts have gone underway, we see Lee Sin, Ori, Jax removed. Lee Sin's kind of shot up in priority here at this tournament, and I think that's through the second half. Jarvan's also gone up in priority for junglers. As for CFO's bans, Talia, Tristan, Rel, the stock standard set of bans from that side. Obviously, Ori ban usually is a response to Talia being banned, so I like this from DFM in that response. That Senna, it's been talked about a lot during this tournament by the casters as a possible pick, but it hasn't been played. Finally, we're getting to see it on the Rift, and it's going into Udapon's hand. Now, another champion that's been very prevalent here at Worlds is the Rakan. I've talked about it endlessly during games. I've cursed teams out because of them giving that pick over. This time, it's going to come through. It's not going to come through, maybe. Maybe it hits the ban phase. Maybe, just maybe, I get my wish. As they're hovering picks, you can't lock Briar. It's not a available pick for this tournament. What? I'm just coming in and looking at drafts fully now. I haven't really talked about them, but Maokai, Senna, Aatrox. You've got scaling out the wazoo. You've got zone control. You've got late game fighting. It's a good, strong, solid core for DFM being shown here. Ban phase here, too. You're going to probably see some support bans coming out from Eden Team. Thresh, maybe. Rakan, Nautilus, Leona. Mid lane bans also are a thing of beauty for CFO here to remove things out of Arya's pool. I distinctly think of Ari, but looking at how they're banning, they've removed the Scion. They think that Aatrox is some sort of flex pick. And, I mean, I don't necessarily think of Aatrox as a mid lane champ. They certainly do. But hey. Let's get into the second ban phase fully, because Jason Sedge rounded out the CFO side of things with a Rumble. We haven't really talked about their champs. You've got a lot of lockdown there with that Sedge, and you can go in and drop in the equalizer onto the locked up target. You've got a very decent combination there. Plus a follow-up poke from Jace is really going to do a lot of work for CFO. If they secure areas, they can put the poke down. That would be a very aggressive pick that I'm certainly not opposed to. But these bans, Xayah, Blitz, Azir, Sion. I'm surprised by the Sion on the CFO side of things. Cassante is up and available if DFM want to play a flex. If they want to have somehow a random flex between roles. It's safe. Granted, going into a rumble is never a good thing. But Ahri Ahri comes through. I kind of expected that to have been banned out instead of the Sion. But yeah, that gets picked up for DFM, as well as the Vi coming through. A lot of engage. In fact, this draft is very interesting from DFM, as you've got Vi jungle, Aatrox top, Senna, ADC, Ahri mid, Maokai support, or Udipon's going to play the Maokai. That actually makes a bit more sense. I actually like this from DFM, if you think about it. Because Udipon, obviously, he's been playing a lot more bruisery tank tops. Maokai kind of plays into that wheelhouse for him. And Senna is a champion, obviously, that wants to famine, shall we say. She doesn't want to farm, so it's going to be Maokai farming. Maybe not. They've switched it around last second. Scratch what I'm saying. Essentially, Maokai should be the one farming. As for CFO, they round out their draft with just aggression. Draven and Nautilus. Doesn't get much more engage heavy, and we want to fight you than that. They're certainly throwing down the gauntlet with aggression here. CFO. I like it. It makes this game one very interesting, and it's either going to be a massive snowball of death coming out from CFO, or DFM gonna drag the game out, get to late game, and just be stronger. There's no simpler way to describe it than that. We need to see CFO play for early fights. Level 2s out the bot lane certainly is what my mindset is going towards. You have to think it's going to be basically a Sedge start on red buff, roam down to the bot lane for level 2/3 gank, and set up the rest of the team. Early invade is also a good idea. With Nautilus, you've got a lot of early power comparative to the Senna, and technically the Maokai. There's not enough root from DFM to deny like any pushes forward. So I like this coming out from CFO, trying to push DFM further back for the start, and this is very aggressive. Already wrapping around into the jungle, getting themselves a bit of vision, and continuing to pass on the aggressive sort of walkway straight past the DFM jungler and support, hiding in, actually it's support. I'm not used to Maokai playing support. It's kind of a weird one. Now, I'm pretty sure what was just highlighted was the stacks that both the Senna and the Draven have. And what we should end up seeing as we look at these very interesting ruins. They're not. They're very stock standard. But essentially, what we're going to be seeing is the Maokai farming. As you can see, already got 3 for himself. And Senna is kind of just there to tank, like, get herself the souls off the targets. As early aggression comes through, this is also the interesting thing, is because supports tend to be the ones, like, trying to kill minions with their relic shields, or hitting champions for the spell thief. Senna's literal job in this game is just to auto attack the opponent. She has no real other job than that. I also should move myself. Not to that one, hi. To that one. There we go. But basically her job, just hit the enemies and get gold. That's it. Now, the interesting thing to see right now is the Sejuani. Because CFO invested some early vision, noticed that the Vi hadn't taken her red buff. And because of that, the pathing of the DFM jungler was known. And so it's punished. A massive camp steal out from CFO's jungler in Gemini gets to take away the red, gets to take away most of the Krugs. And you know, that's a big sort of advantage against a Vi who arguably has a very quick clear speed as mid. Xiaoxi showed on wave. His presence is known, but DFM forced to play a bit more scared, a little less aggro. I like it from CFO threatening an early roam with the back shouldn't took. It meant that the roam timer was there. It's just clean, like, early game macro plays from CFO, and I like that, especially considering the fact that we said they need to start an early snowball. It's a core mechanic for this team to get an early advantage, get an early fight, because the further this game goes, the less likely it is for them to win. Now, obviously, the timer doesn't really start until, like, DFM get a kill. As mid lane, Arya is caught out, hit by the shock blast. Sedge gets on top of him, but the hammer gets brought down. Himinen gets the kill, but it's actually going to be a trade in the end. First blood, though, goes over to the Flying Oysters. I really butchered his name there, I think. Jiminy? Jimian? I don't know how to say the name. I'm probably going to spend most of the game trying to think of it, but in the end I think I might just default back to the Jace name. I think that's the easiest way, but watching the play, it's just a clean level for gank. Straight over the wall, flash to secure the Q stun, knock up into the hammer, and the issue is, the Jace backed away a little too early, thinking, oh, bring the hammer down would secure the kill. And because of the investment already committed by CFO, he kind of had to continue to go forward. And with it, he dies, but he gets first blood, a nice stack of gold into his inventory. Issue is, the wave was in a bad spot, so he is behind in CS. A decent chunk. He'll kind of gather most of that back as Sedge forcing the Spirit Rush out early as Arya ticks over to level 7 and as safety is without ultimate for now, and that is a big spell to be without. He's also down a lot of his sums, so Arya is kind of going to be bullied out here, you have to feel, by CFO if they want to continue to snowball. Big issue is Draven catching up to level 6. There's the level up for Nautilus. He's only just gone to level 5. And this is the issue with going for a bot play. They're so far behind in levels compared to the rest of the map. There's no level 6s just yet. And that's a huge thing to note. Because when Draven gets his ultimate, then whirling death blades can come out and execute targets off because of his passive. It's a huge thing that you realistically need if you are Draven, if you want to get yourself your first cash out, you need the execute ability. Now, the issue is, right now, Senna sits at a juicy 7 or 25 stacks, so she's already got her first attack range buff. That means that she's able to just do a little bit more from a little bit further away. It's a really neat mechanic on a champion, and personally something that CFO need to be wary of is them Senna stacks getting out of hand. Now, top lane, Rumble secured a bit of a push, even though there was a little bit of trading. And so that means he gets early prio into the river, as Herald has spawned onto the rift. And the two teams aren't pathing up here. In fact, the entire bot lane for DFM have come up to display. They really want to secure this objective, even though the scuttle has been secured by CFO, as Maokai going to catch out the Sejuani, forcing her into the Senna W. The poke is being thrown down, and the first kill of the fight goes over to DFM as Steel secures that. He goes forward with the assault and battery, and that is a double kill over to Vi. And what do you know, DFM get onto the board with their third kill of the game. This is a huge part for them because they're able to now go to the Herald, secure that one for themselves. They did invest quite a bit with the Senna, spending a lot of time up here. Only getting one stack of her passive as well. That usually is an issue, considering you should be getting about 3, 4, maybe even more souls per minute. I don't know what the typical average is, but I think that 9 minutes in, it's an alright amount of stacks to have, but you definitely want to be getting a little bit more, and that's kind of important to note, as this is just a great pick, catching out this Sedge, just hiding in the vision that you've secured for yourselves. No way for Gemini to know that the Maokai is there, other than if he knew the fact that, oh yeah, CFO are in the river, because that scuttle I just secured tells me they're there. Now, whether or not he thought that the rest of his team would have collapsed in quicker is a different story, but the issue is that you have to think about is, this isn't a support Maokai or a jungle Maokai. It's basically going to be a standard tank Maokai build. Going for the Sunfire Cape early, probably going to get Merc Treads for his second item as well, even though it's realistically not the best pickup into the enemy comp, considering they're quite heavily indexed in AD. It's still an item you need to get because of the CC reduction, as mid lane Assault and Battery is going to be thrown out alongside Nature's Grasp. Target rooted down and shut down, as Vi is actually going to go and get one for herself. The trade though comes through as Arya is able to secure that one for DFM. While that was all going on, bot lane Shun just getting a steady push in, continuing to build up the Draven stacks. And personally, he is still remaining a threat. If he is picked off now, you kind of have to think that game 1 is going over to DFM. Unless a miracle happens, obviously. But for now, still is a threat. And that's important to note, as he stayed bot side. This is just a heavy commit from DFM to get the kill. Granted, the Dustblade comes through, keeping the Jace alive a little longer. Then he uses his stopwatch once that time's out. He did invest quite a bit, and it may have been an overcommit in terms of his items, but hey, you forced out very little actually from DFM side. Yeah, so that was basically an overcommit in terms of resources used there by CFO to try and keep their mid laner alive, which maybe they weren't expecting the damage to be that high. As Maokai going to flash forward, the Bramble Smash forces Chelsea into a death that really could have been avoided had he not been caught out in the river. That was basically just clean overall, as the Whirling Death thrown out. Not going to be able to get a kill. It is probably just used to secure the minion push, let's be honest. He knew that a lot of members of DFM were in the bot lane, and so he kind of just was left there to try and deal with it. Now, the Japanese squad have mid lane prio, dropping the Herald. Will it get a charge? It won't. That's great play from CFO to deny the charge forward, as Draven kind of been left on his own in his bot lane for quite a while. It's going to be rooted up by the center W. Won't be jumped on, however. And instead, DFM take a bit of a safer approach. They back away from the river. They back to pretty much their own tower. And essentially aren't giving anything to CFO right now. They know the win con. They know they need to scale. And I like that for them. I like how they're playing it. The problem is, top lane has been left in isolation for a long time. And this Rumble has picked up his first completed item. He's level 11, highest in the game. He's got a lot of burst. You have to think, if he gets caught, or if he goes for a fight, this should be a lot of burst damage being thrown out, and almost certainly a kill if the target is suppressed for long enough. And with a Nautilus, with a Sejuani, a target is more than likely getting rooted down for a while. This is a deadly combo that is readily available, as the Jace gets chunked out quite heavily by the Aatrox. Bear in mind, there's been kills going over to this Jace comparative to the opposition. But Aatrox just a little bit stronger, as Nature's Grass thrown out. Goes head first onto the carries, but that equalizer dropped perfectly. Absolutely deletes the health bars as a cash out comes through for Shun. Fight continues forward as 2 kills go over to CFO. Aatrox trying to body block for this Ahri, but DFM, they're falling. The Drake falls. CFO continuing to press the advantage as a flash from the Nautilus is avoided. The hook does not land, and Arya gets away, but Sedge has caught out the remaining members of DFM, as here comes Himinen. He's coming in, diving forward. The hammer brings hope to the team as Harp falls, and Draven, he's got some money, he's got some axes, and he wants the kill, and Shun gets it. Big fight for CFO. That snowball, that scaling has been delayed even more by them getting so many kills here, and we have to give a lot of credit to Rest's equalizer. Dropped directly on top of the center as she uses that ultimate, meaning she gets taken low and really has no impact in this fight. Then you have to think about this Jace and the damage that he's able to do as he just dives forward with the hammers and does work. Here, great work by Sedge. Granted, he does fall, but he's basically denying the backs, allows his team to actually get the kills. In fact, he doesn't fall. Instead, he just does his job perfectly to guarantee 2 kills over to the carries of CFO. While that was going on, DFM have transitioned over to the Herald here. They're definitely going to secure that for themselves. No contest coming out from CFO. And a couple more souls go over into that center's back pocket. As I started to say, DFM just need to sit back. They've given an avenue of attack to CFO, as bot lane tier 1 falls, first tower of the game, and the gold difference just swung off that one fight. Just a massive difference in how these two teams want to play, and they're naturally at that point where one false move and you're giving over a Baron, and you're pretty much giving this game over to the opposition, as Aberman playing respectful for his team, not going to give over a kill to CFO, as essentially a lot could go wrong in these next few minutes. 2 minutes until the Infernal Drake spawns, sole point if CFO secure it. You have to think that there's going to be a contest around that objective. Senna, currently sitting at 56 stacks, needs 4 more in order to get that extra attack range boost. Pretty sure if you get to about 100, 120 stacks, you're at probably one of your strongest points for Senna. But I'm not entirely sure. As Herald going to be dropped in the mid lane once again. A minute 40 until the Drake. DFM trying to set up some early presence. And granted, it hasn't resulted in that much vision. In fact, there is very little wards for DFM on the Rift. But here they go. They're going aggressive. They've locked onto the Sedge, but she is not the target you really want to go onto. Sentinel going to be fired out the Dawning Shadow, and just tickling CFO's health bars. That's quite a bit of an gauge coming out from DFM, and a lot of spells wasted overall, not resulting in much. And in fact, both teams just back away to safety without giving up much other than Maokai Flash is probably the biggest thing expended out of that play. Now, the Jace could be dove under tower, and the Assault of Battery spells his demise. Shutdown goes over to Arya, and that is a big kill to get, especially this close to Drake. He's going to be up as it spawns. He does have TP to make a way for a play if something were to happen. DFM striking relatively at one of the best times for them to do so, I would say. And yeah, game's starting to get very interesting. I did say it would be bloody, and with there being 7 kills to 6 on the Rift, you have to feel there's going to be another fight soon, as I'm getting myself some food. Drake started. Vi is in the area. Steel, though, backs away. Going to the mid lane. DFM see that the mid lane tier 1 is very low. Want to secure that so that they can open up the map a bit more and allow their scaling to continue with less threats coming in from the side. And this is huge for them, because look what they've done. Immediately pathed into this top half of the river, into the red buff zone of CFO, and try get a bit of deep vision, as well as just denying areas of the map from the flying Oysters. Now, it hasn't really resulted in much, but as I say, DFM scaling quite well. Already see a few big items picked up for them, as Mora Malmortius picked up for the Aatrox. Kind of a big thing to note, because he's going into an AP Rumble, and considering that CS advantage for the Rumble has kind of grown exponentially, he needs to be able to deal with him. And that's a huge thing to say, because Rumble is already built to deal with this Aatrox. Already got the Oblivion Orb. Means that the health denial, the healing that the Aatrox gets, is being mitigated quite effectively, I will say. The Equalizer, very good ultimate for burning away the health bars. And that is something you need to be worried about if you are DFM. Because you look at that comp as a whole, you think, well, Senna's going to be healing my team. Aatrox has innate healing in his kit. Ari technically has some innate healing in her kit. But, like, that is a very, very big item for this Rumble to get. Because it denies quite a bit of utility that DFM have. Now, what I will say is, DFM side of things, there's a massive, massive thing that they've got to their advantage right now. Namely the 5-1 and 2 Ari, who's basically even in CS, almost got her death cap. In fact, she just picked up a second needlessly on that back. So she's probably about 1,000 gold away from her Rabadon's death cap. So before this 4th Drake spawns, you have to feel that Arya is going to be farming like a menace to get that one. Because you need that 3rd item power spike to relatively or realistically deal with a Collector Draven who has got Stopwatch and Essence Reaver. You basically need that to just burst him out quick, to basically deny an impact on the fight. Because Draven, while very, very powerful in terms of damage, he is very susceptible to receiving damage. Doesn't have the highest amount of health or resistances. So if he does get caught, he's more than likely going to fall. And what do you know? That's just going to be that. As DFM, setting and continuing to control this top half of the map, trying to set up for the Baron. CFO, though, very smart, clearing out the vision that's been set up, trying to get themselves some semblance of eyes on the Baron, because they need that in order to basically make this game go their favor. They cannot give that objective over. And, I mean, I say they can't. They pretty much could trade it for Soul. That would be worthwhile for them, but isn't worthwhile if they just have it stolen or snuck away. That's kind of a issue if you're CFO in this situation. But a lot of mid lane posturing, 30 seconds until this Drake. CFO really want to fight. As Draven just being aggressive. That Shock Blast got more attention than it needed to, let's be honest. As Vi continuing to clear out jungle. No one's really giving up this mid lane pressure. They need to get this pushed in if you're CFO. Obviously, the long lane favors DFM in this situation. Because once that mini wave falls, the wave just has a lot further to go. That Shock Blast chunks a little bit of the Vi health bar as Apperman, walking headfirst into rest, can be jumped on the Night Harvester, doing work as that health bar is shredded by the Aatrox, and he is just sniped from the other side of the rift as the Shock Blast does work, baby. The full lethality Jace is very, very threatening, and he can just absolutely delete your health bar. And we just saw it there. Aatrox, known for being quite a bulky champion, known for having a lot of sustain. The Bruiser just got bursted. And that is a huge thing to note. Now in a 4v5, Soul secured for the Flying Oysters. And DFM, you've got scaling, but CFO have the power. And they're looking to kill you off where you stand. Interesting to note, Baron going to be started up here by DFM. CFO have vision of it. Baron not going to be stopped there, continuing to kill this. CFO have to respond. Sedge is in the area, and that kind of forces DFM to back away. And you know, this stage of the game, kills like this really should not be happening. Because it spells demise and doom for you if you are DFM. Caught in the side lane, not a good thing. Also interesting to note, Basically, DFM knew he was dead. Because Arya TP'd straight to the mid lane. Nope. He thought, nah, I'm not giving him a second. And instead, he just backs away as mid. We see a catch up, the equalizer thrown out. Vi locked up and deleted by CFO as the bottom half of the fight. Looks to be a continued aggression. Aatrox gets a kill, but Jace deletes the health bars of the two bot laners. And that's a triple kill for this mid lane pick. It's a quadra. What a play coming out from him and he is on fire. Basically, he hit his power spikes. He's hit the damage. That shock blast is insane. I just want to see how quickly Udipon's health bar dies. As the equalizer gets dropped, Udipon actually steps onto it and takes so much damage. Jace is tagged by the... It's Infernal Soul, baby. Infernal Soul just kills people. And good night, DFM. Your chances of this game is over. 2 stopwatches kind of denied any form of reset for the Aatrox as well. But as things have gone, DFM, you got 2 Heralds. Basically got nothing with the first. You got mid lane tier 1 with the second. And in the end, it hasn't really spelt much as the other objectives just gone into CFO's back pocket. That Infernal Soul has meant that the damage coming out from this Rumble and Jace are just exceptionally high. And they're able to just delete your members if they're locked up for a long time. Bear in mind, Senna rooted herself with that ultimate. The Dawning Shadow just meant that she was dead. That one shock blast deleted her health bar, and DFM do work here as a pick actually has come through as Senna gets the GA out from the Jace. It's actually a shutdown, but the trade comes through. Aatrox is the one to fall, and Shun, he is getting very, very fed on his own. Steel falls on the part of the top half, and DFM, they get a kill, but they lose their top half of the map. And CFO now continuing to use their Baron. They've got a Cannon minion hitting this mid lane tier 2. They're definitely going to secure this one off this push. Baron up for another minute 20. And they've got waves pushing in the top lane. Bot wave is a bit of an issue. They don't really have a way to play with it. But they don't care. They're continuing to push in this mid lane. It's another 10 seconds on Vi before she's up in the rift. And because they see that Apperman is respawning in about 2 seconds, they back away as great charm out from Arya. The one Fed member of DFM locks up the target, bursts him out, gets his GA, and the shutdown goes through to DFM. The issue is, Nautilus can re-engage. You've also got a huge amount of damage from that equalizer to take away at your health bars. CFO are easily going to pick up 2 kills out of that if you try to fight it. And DFM tried to fight it, and they lost. They lost quite a lot. Now, 50 seconds until Elder Drake. Baron falling off in 10 seconds roughly. DFM kind of are in a situation where, yeah, they scale. They have infinite scaling with that center. But the game will never reach a point where she is as relevant as the carries of CFO. And with 30 seconds to go, DFM nowhere near this objective. They need to start pathing up towards it if they want to contest. They've got 0 vision, and it's surprising that Gemini is up here. Obviously not showing himself on vision. It does mean that DFM are playing very wary of the enemy jungler. Now he's finally rejoined up with the team. TP came out from Jiminine to join up with his team. And now DFM, you have to step forward into the death brush. The hook lands, the Maokai bursted out, equalizer thrown out. And that's forces a flash out from the support of DFM. Elder Drake started up. Nature's Grass not available. There's no way for DFM to force CFO off this objective. Mid is an issue, as Jiminen has gone and forcing the wave to crash into the base of DFM. If Elder Drake started up, slowly ticking below half HP, waiting for a hook from Chelsea. He's looking for the target. He needs to get a decent hook, as on the bottom half, that flamethrower absolutely deletes half the health bar of the Maokai, and the re-engage comes through from DFM. This is their do or die fight. GA popped on this fight already, and he is burnt to a crisp as Shun secures that one. Equalizer back off cooldown, trapping the Maokai, trapping the Senna. Double kill to the Draven. Elder Drake to follow. This is game over, as DFM lose out, CFO reigns supreme, and the base is the next target for the VCS squad. PCS. It says it there. Anyway, game over. CFO on the victory path. Whirling Death thrown out to kill the wave. This game is over. The charm lands. The Everfrost roots. But it's not enough damage. The Elder Drake, bear in mind, is on CFO, and Arya dies because of it. So does Apperman. Game 1 goes to the CFO, the Flying Oysters, the CBTC Flying Oysters, if we want to be exact with their name. Game 2, just around the corner, which we will be looking at through GOL. Let's do it. I'm going to eat food while we do it as well, so I apologise for the noise that you will hear from me. I'm very hungry. But, wow. The Loud Games lost that title of longest and shortest games. It's now with BDS. Kind of funny. Anyway. Game 2. The win for CFO. Let's look at draft. DFM went to red side. I like that. Actually, no, I don't. I hate that. I mean, I guess that you want counter pick, but like you give over a strong pick. They actually get the Rakan. And to this point, I believe Rakan has a 100% win rate before this game. So the fact it came through for them is a nice change. They also got Desire alongside it. So Desire Rakan is a good combo. They still give over that Rumble. The Maokai goes through. That's a Blitzcrank with 4 kills as well. This looks like a very clean game from CFO, personally. I think a lot of that is massive. Like, the low KD, well, low deaths. Massive thing to note. Harp dying a lot helps me, because I think I predicted Rakan having high deaths. But, it's a low damage AP build. It's low amounts of AP, I'm trying to say. For DFM. Arya has very little damage in that build. Got low damage. The only place they've got damage is Udapon. The rest of the champs are either bulkier or just not that impactful. That versus that is a very, very important stat to note. Imperial Mandate on rest as well. That's Imperial. Is that Imperial Mandate or is that Demonic Embrace? My head's just gone so wild. I think that's Demonic Embrace. We can have a look. There we go. This is how I check things, by the way. This is say what it is. It does not say the name of the item. Bruh. Just because I don't remember. We're Googling it. Yeah, I'm right. It's Imperial Mandate. Weird. He's gone that in the build. But I mean, it makes sense because you've got a lot of poke on this team comp. So you kind of want to escalate their damage. Escalate? Escalate. There's the word. Now, timeline wise, does it make sense is a real question. We'll look at the 21-minute fight. I mean, the game was always one-sided. Actually, no, we'll look at the 14-minute one. This looks to be... This area is basically where the game gets flipped. No, we'll look at it at 21 minutes. It's probably very interesting. Nice to see the timer. 14, okay. About here. Did I say 28 minute or 21? I said 21. Okay. So Aatrox just gets killed. Greedy pathing. Cataclysm denies the advancement from CFO. Poke won't land. DFM just basically have to give up this Drake. No chance to Baron sneak. Because Rest is pathing up there and denying that. Plus with the Scuttle Crab in their favour. Hook denies the back. Yeah, that's an easy kill. This is just dumb. Because you walk straight over, you see the ward, you know he's technically there. It's just dumb. Makes no sense for the Aatrox to take that pathing. So we've got to fight in a couple seconds. What is it for? Baron? Maybe? Oh, it's a pick. Just a hook. Chelsea gets a kill. Bot side, it's a trade. But Baron gets started by CFO because no jungler. It's just very clean from Chelsea. I like the Blitzcrank play. He's just looking for the hook. He's not focusing objectives, he's denying them. He's got Everfrost, for Christ's sake. He's looking to root you and get the hook. Rumble... Okay, that was overzealous from Harp. Killer Instinct forward. It's also Duskblade Kaiser. Surprising. Arya tries to get the kill, but Blitzcrank, being Blitzcrank's body blocking, gets himself another. And yeah, CFO, punish, get Baron, do work. It's a very clean game from them. I like that. But yeah. That's going to be the end of that for today. One more series. And we're only covering... I want to cover the first game of that series.